beat of a military band, an army of British youth parade in a park near London. Officers ride proudly at the head of their troops, dressed in uniforms of fawn and green. This is a rehearsal for a display this juvenile army will give tomorrow before the Queen Mother at Hampton Court Palace. So whipping these recruits into shape is an ex-sergeant major who once used his lung power to blast the ears of British troops.
When you receive the command, eyes left, you must turn your head and eyes square to your left and look straight into the face of the inspecting officer. By the left! Quick march!
It only goes to show that when it comes to appearances, even a riding school can be somewhat deceptive. For this military-style youth movement was mainly founded to teach youngsters to ride ponies and horses. These troops are members of the Horse Rangers Association, a unique organization in Britain. The Rangers were founded nearly 20 years ago. The movement has fulfilled the dream of one man. Raymond Gordon, a 74-year-old retired engineer, created his army of youngsters to give cheap riding lessons to poor children. He realized the love youngsters have for horses and how many were deprived the chance to ride them. Few parents can afford to buy their kiddies a pony. Lessons at an ordinary riding school can cost over £1 an hour. Raymond Gordon's Rangers ride his ponies at weekends and learn how to care for them for only 5 shillings a week. If parents can't even afford that, Raymond quietly forgets. He encourages disabled or handicapped children to join. He won't charge them a penny. The condition of some disabled youngsters has improved because they've learned to ride. And so popular has the association become that there's a waiting list of hundreds. Yet membership of the Rangers doesn't only teach a child to ride or look after horses. It also means a commitment to the association's rules. In effect, that's submission to the code of conduct demanded by the Commander-in-Chief.
Being like we are, you all got to do better. Your hair's got to be more tidy, you've got to look smarter, and you've got to speak up for yourselves. Now, you know what this organization stands for? It's citizenship. I'll repeat to you that a strong youth in this country is a strong country afterwards. Attention! Right! Turn! Left wheel by the left. Quick! March! Left, right, left, right, left.
Strong little citizens of tomorrow are taught the virtue of self-discipline, that elders must be respected, that a clean body means a healthy mind, that above all, a ranger must have integrity. Ex-Sergeant Major Britton, a kindly man beneath his fiery whiskers, has found in his retirement that the association can use his services.
I would like the boys to feel that they've got something, there's something that I'm worth looking up to, and that I'm a person who's all my life behaved myself, if I might say so.
Discipline?
Discipline is the whole thing.
When it comes to drilling themselves, the youngsters have a lot to learn, so perhaps it's fortunate they don't have to drill very often. The children don't seem to mind the militancy of the organization. They like dressing up in their uniforms, and the boys, more perhaps than the girls, enjoy pretending they're soldiers. They can be promoted through the ranks. Little girls can become sergeants, even officers one day. Commandant General Sheila Moore, a school teacher by trade, is the association's chief of staff.
What about the military trappings of the organisation?
Yes.
Why are they in existence?
Well, we did say that we would have a uniform from the beginning on this. I myself am quite a disciplinarian.
Are you?
In the kindest way, yes. I think there are ways of instilling discipline without being a grouser or a shouter. I think this
What do you
has
do?
no effect at all.
The children put up with the discipline if it gives them a chance to ride and work with horses. They're taught to ride when they join and to wash and groom them. Older children train the handicapped youngsters as part of the founder's philosophy on character building. And part of the moulding process is teaching them to be kind to animals.
Well, there's nice horses, very friendly horses. They do nice things, do a lot of riding, pet cleaning, mucking out.
That doesn't sound very nice, mucking out. Do you like that?
Yes, I like it very much.
Do you? Why?
I like wearing my uniform.
Just have to be generally good and not do anything stupid.
You learn respect for adults too, don't you?
Yeah.
How are you trained that?
Most of the adults are officers and you have to do what they say or else.
The dominating influence behind it all is the personality of Raymond Gordon. He is the Rangers Association, and this is his headquarters at Hampton Court Mews, property of the Queen. This remarkable man who fought as a pilot during the First World War is a product of the old school. He's deeply patriotic, with a Churchillian love for Queen and country. He has spent a considerable amount of his private fortune building up the organization almost single-handed. In return for his effort and money, he's created a movement which is simply an extension of him.
As far as I'm concerned, I think it's such a marvellous training for children. You're bringing a partnership between a child and an animal, which is the greatest thing one could do. And as we are in this new world now, as I call it, where parents just, they don't neglect their children, but they don't house train them in the way I think they should have been house trained. They're not interested in the child's character going up. This is my humble opinion. And I think this movement here, the Horse Rangers, gives such an opportunity to these children to form their character. Let's have a little bit more clever integrity into the world, and I think we're all going to be much better. A strong youth is a strong country, because you're building everybody with some, using that word, I keep on repeating it, you're using integrity into it, which you don't get today.
In a fashionable world, or in a new world, there are people who would disagree with you, aren't there? They would say that perhaps your ideas are
Outdated.
old-fashioned and outdated, yes.
Well, you can't have good manners and good discipline outdated, can you?
What are your views about modern youth? You sometimes despair about them.
Modern youth? Well, I think half of them are very good, and the other half are bad. And basically bad, I'm sorry to say it, is the training they've had in the beginning.
There are some who might say, or could say, that maybe your movement is a little bit too military style for say, children to be, brought into a movement wearing uniforms, marching and things like that. What's your answer to that?
Well, the uniform definitely got brought in not to make any distinction between a poor child and a child who has some money. That's one. The second thing, the only thing I know how to talk to children today, and they like discipline, is to give them a little drill and a little hold your backpack.
Raymond Gordon had a dream, and this is its fruition. Hundreds of fresh-faced youngsters exemplify for him the finest ideals of modern youth. Some may feel, of course, that integrity and human decency are not necessarily spawned from the militant spirit or even the disciplined mind. But it is doubtful whether these youngsters have been harmed in any way by Raymond Gordon's philosophy. The man has given them so much. The joy of discovering at a tender age a relationship with animals and the chance to enjoy a hobby which until he founded the Rangers was mainly confined to those with money to spend on riding.